Hello everyone, and welcome back to Creative Grandma and Stitch of the Week. This week's stitch is number 100 and I call it the Rick Rack Lace Stitch pattern. Now I seen this in a book a long time ago and it was a really quick and easy pattern, but I didn't know the name of what they called this stitch pattern, so I just called it the Rick Rack Lace because when you pull it up and you look at it, certain ways you look at it, it just looks like rickrack. So I just thought it was a nice name for the pattern. So you may know this pattern by a different name. Now all my samples are made using 4 medium yarn, and I used a size H8 5mm crochet hook. Okay, so for this stitch pattern here, it is a multiple of 3 and then you add 5. So for my samples today, this stitch sample, here's my first one. I just used a basic pink and white. So very pretty. This one I think shows up the Rick Rack a little bit better. Now you can make it sideways, so you can make it lengthwise, or you can make it across. So just a nice little lacy pattern with summer here. Sometimes we like those little bit lacier patterns. Now the second one I made, I used 2 different yarn brands. I used color number soft green in the Stitch Studio Classics by Nicole. This I got at AC Moore. And then I matched it up with the Red Heart Super Saver, and this is color number 929 Bikini. This is a really pretty color when worked up. You can see how it looks here with the green. And I did this because this almost resembles the primrose stitch, but the primrose stitch uses a single crochet instead of a double crochet for the V-stitch. So kind of like the primrose, only this one we're using a double crochet V-stitch. And then for my last sample, I just used a basic white. So you can make this in one solid color if you just want a real elegant lacy look for on your couch, sofa, or bed. And then you can use it in a multiple of colors, which I wish I would have thought to use different colors, but this gives you an idea. This looks like little flower gardens. And then this one, if you change colors every other row, just use a different color. That's an idea for it. So these are my 3 samples, just to give you an idea of what the stitch pattern looks like. Now I'm going to get started with the chain 17. I think I'm just going to use my Perfect Pink. This is Red Heart Super Saver Perfect Pink, and then I'm just going to use basic white. So let me get my hook and I'll be right back, and we'll get this quick and easy pattern started. I have my yarn attached to my hook, and now we're going to chain 17, which is a multiple of 3 times 4 plus our 5. So yarn over the hook, pull it through your loop that you have on your hook. That's your first chain. Yarn over the hook, pull it through. That's 2. Yarn over the hook, pull it through. That's 3. And then the loop here on your hook does not count as a chain. So continue in that manner until you have a total of 17 chain, and I'll be right back to start the pattern. So I have my 17 chain, so this is what it should look like. You should count your chains and have 17. We're going to get started by double crocheting in the 5th chain from hook. So we're going to skip the first 4 chain. So yarn over the hook, skip 1, 2, 3, 4 chain, come down to that 5th chain from hook, insert your hook in that chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through the chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops. You just made a double crochet. Now your chain 4 that you skipped counts as your beginning double crochet and then a chain 1, so it actually creates your first V-stitch. So now we're starting the repeat. This is a very simple repeat. You're going to skip 2 chain and work a V-stitch in the next chain, which consists of 1 double crochet, chain 1, and 1 double crochet. So yarn over the hook, skip the next 2 chain, 1, 2, insert into that 3rd chain from hook, yarn over the hook, pull it through that chain, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2 loops. That's your first double crochet of your V-stitch. We're going to chain 1, and that creates the center of the V-stitch, and then we're going to work another double crochet into this same chain. So yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain, and work a double crochet. And that is the end of your repeat. Very, very simple. We're just going to skip 2 chain, work a V-stitch in the next chain, skip 2 chain, work a V-stitch in the next chain. So let's continue on. Yarn over the hook, skip the next 2 chain. This is the start of the repeat. 1, 2, insert into that next chain and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same chain and work a double crochet. You just made your V-stitch, and that's the end of the repeat. We're going to do it 2 more times. Yarn over the hook, this is the start of your repeat. You're going to skip the next 2 chain, insert your hook into the next chain and work your double crochet. You're going to chain 1 for the center of the V-stitch, and then we're going to work another double crochet into the same chain. So yarn over the hook, insert into the same chain that you just worked in, and work a double crochet. Your V-stitch is complete, and that's the end of the repeat. So we have 3 chains remaining. If you have a longer chain and you're making an afghan, you should always end with 3 chain, which is 1 last repeat. So to work the last 3 chain, so yarn over the hook, you're going to skip those next 2 chain, and you're going to work a V-stitch into this last chain on your foundation row. So insert your hook and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over the hook, insert into that same last chain and work a double crochet. You should always start and end with a V-stitch, and there should be 2 chain in between each V-stitch across. Okay, now if you're working in one color, like if you want to do a one color project, I'm going to show 2 different ways of turning and starting the row. If you're working in all of the same color, like if you have a self-striping yarn, if you're just using white, you're going to turn your work, and you're going to insert your hook into that beginning chain 1 space, and you're just going to grab that yarn and pull it through the loop on your hook. Then you're ready to start row 2. Now if you're changing colors, when you get to the end of the row, you're just going to fasten off. Now I'm working in 2 colors for my sample today, so I'm just going to fasten off my work, and we're going to turn. Now if you're working in one color, then you're ready to start row 2. I'm just going to grab my new color, which is the pink. I have my new color, and I leave about a 2 to 3 inch length, just a nice length that you can get your yarn needle and weave it in. Now again, if you're working in one color, you're already in the chain 1 space ready to go. If you're changing colors, you just hold that new color up against your work and just grab that new color and pull it through the chain space, between the chain space and that first double crochet right in the center of this beginning V-stitch. So just grab it, pull it to the front and top. Now we're ready to start row 2. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this acts as the first double crochet. Now we're going to work 2 more double crochet into that same chain 1 space. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same beginning chain space, and work a double crochet. Now I'm letting my ends hang, and I'll weave them in later. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same chain space and work a double crochet. So you should have your chain 3 and then 2 more double crochet in the center of that beginning V-stitch. So for row 2, all we're going to do is work 3 double crochet into the chain 1 space of each V-stitch across. So yarn over the hook, find your next V-stitch, which is here, go right into the center of that next V-stitch in the chain 1 space, go right underneath the chain 1 space and work around your stitches around that chain 1, yarn over the hook, pull it through and work your double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert it into that same chain 1 space and work your second double crochet. Yarn over the hook, insert into that same space and work your third double crochet. So very simple row. Go ahead and work 3 double crochet into the center of each V-stitch across. I'll meet you at the end of row 2. So I'm over at the end of row 2 and you should have 3 double crochet in the center of each V-stitch across. So now if you're working in one color, you're just going to turn your work, you're going to skip that first stitch, insert your hook into that second double crochet of that 3 double crochet group and slip stitch. Yarn over the hook, pull it through the stitch and pull it through the loop on your hook. Then you're ready to start row 3. Now if you're working in 2 colors like I am, then I'm just going to fasten off my color, my pink. And again, I'm letting my ends hang. Okay, now we're going to turn our work after we fastened off. I'm going to go ahead and grab my white. So I have my new color, which is white, and I leave about a 2 to 3 inch length. And we're going to skip the first double crochet. We're going to insert our hook into that second double crochet. We're going to grab that new color and just pull it through the top of that stitch. Now to start row 3, we're going to start with a chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Our chain 4 counts as the first double crochet plus a chain 1, and this is half of our V-stitch. Now yarn over the hook, you're going to go back into that same double crochet that we just worked in and you're going to work a double crochet. And this completes our V-stitch. So what we're going to do for row 3 is we're going to work a V-stitch in the center double crochet of each 3 double crochet group across. So yarn over the hook, you're going to skip the next 2 double crochet, 1, 2. You're going to insert your hook into that next double crochet, which is the second double crochet of that next group of 3 double crochet. So insert your hook into that stitch and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over the hook, you're coming back down into that same stitch and you're going to work a double crochet. Your V-stitch is complete. And again, your V-stitch should be right in the center stitch of that 3 double crochet group. So we're just going to repeat that across. Yarn over the hook, you're going to skip the next 2 double crochet, which is the last double crochet of the current group of 3 double crochet, and then the first double crochet of the next group of 3. So skip those 2 double crochet, insert into the next, which is the center double crochet of the 3 double crochet group, and work your V-stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet all in that same stitch. Yarn over the hook, skip the next 2 double crochet, insert into the next double crochet and work a double crochet. Chain 1, yarn over the hook, insert into that same double crochet and work a double crochet. Your V-stitch is complete and it's in the center of that 3 double crochet group. We're over to our last 3 double crochet group. So we're going to yarn over, we're going to skip the next 2 double crochet, the last double crochet of the current group and the first double crochet of that next group. So insert your hook right into the center stitch of that 3 double crochet group and work a double crochet. You're going to chain 1, yarn over the hook, insert it into that same stitch and work a double crochet. You have 1 double crochet remaining, which is our turning chain from the previous row, and that stays unworked. So when you look at your work, you'll see that row 1 is all V-stitches. Row 2, you have 3 double crochet in the center of each V-stitch across. And then row 3, we come back and we repeat the V-stitch by placing 1 V-stitch in the center stitch of each one of those 3 double crochet groups. So that's all there is to this pattern. It's a quick and easy, it's a wonderful fast pattern if you need something in a hurry. And again, you're going to start the same way. If you're working in one color, you'll turn your work, insert your hook into that chain 1 space and slip stitch through that space and through the loop on your hook, and then you're ready to start row 4. Again, if you're working in more than one color like I am, then you're just going to fasten off I just fasten off my work, and then you're going to turn your work, insert your hook into that center chain 1 space of that first beginning V-stitch, grab your new color, leave about 2 to 3 inch length, and then pull that new color through, and you're ready to start row 4. So this pattern, you repeat rows 2 and 3 for the pattern, and again, it's a very nice, easy, quick stitch if you need an afghan in a hurry. Let me zoom out a little bit. This is the pink and white, then this is the green and multi, and then this is my classic white. So thank you everybody for stopping by Stitch of the Week this week. I hope you really enjoyed this really fast and easy pattern. Wonderful for working up if you're watching TV and need to do a real quick blanket. Excellent, excellent stitch. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and also leave me some comments of what stitch patterns you're looking for in the future. And if I don't know them, I'll try to learn them and see if I can get them online for you. Happy crocheting, everyone!